Hi, I'm Rachey. I guess a little background on me. For the longest time, I thought, I would go to art school, get my degree, and work in some sort of art related field and make a whole bunch of money, and I would be happy. And finishing my first year of college left me really optimistic that that's how things were gonna go. I would graduate from art school with flying colors and I would get a job that I absolutely love and everything would be okay for me. Well, my sophomore year of school, I did terrible. I was really depressed. There were some things that happened in my life that really made it difficult for me to cope with being in a situation where I was on my own and, having to work and go to school. And it was also during that time that I kind of realized that I don't really care for a lot of aspects that have to do with school. So I quit going to school for a while, but my plan was always to go back to school, the same school that I was attending before, get my art degree, and go on with life as I had thought it would be. And then it was, okay, well, I'll go to community college, get some of my classes out of the way, and that way it'll be even easier for me to finish art school. Because I wasn't going to a hardcore dedicated art school. I was going to an art school within a larger university. And it just ended up not going that way. I made the decision to drop out of school, and of course, the decision to drop out of school also meant that, whatever plans I had for the first part of my 20s and the plans I had for a career, that just kind of drastically changed. I can't do anything that requires a degree because it's not just that I have no plans on going back to art school. I have no plans on going back to school in general. And my decision to drop out of school was for a number of reasons. The biggest one is cost. And that's not, it's definitely not unique. There are a lot of people who either don't go to school or end up dropping out of school because it's expensive. I live in America, and surely everyone knows about the education situation here in America. Also, I just don't like school. Art school in particular can be grating because, one, you have to deal with a bunch of pretentious types, and it's just, why would you want to be around that? And two, it's basically teaching you how to take something that you love doing and turning it into your source of income, which absolutely sucks for a number of reasons. Once your hobby becomes your source of income, is it really a hobby anymore? And it definitely felt like that when most of my class assignments were revolved around art and making art, and it felt more like work than enjoyment, which, would make sense within the context of schoolwork, but not so much in terms of, just doing something that I love. And also, I have several personal issues that make school difficult, or, well, makes me incompatible with schooling. I'm a terrible procrastinator. I do tend to give up on things halfway. It takes a long time to get me motivated to do something. And these are not things that I'm proud of. I'm not advocating for this. These are like actual personal issues that I need to resolve, and I am working towards that. I'm also very disorganized, and these are not good qualities for a student to have, for sure. And these just aren't good qualities to have in life. And I'm not saying that, having these qualities makes me a bad person, because, if you have these qualities, you're not a bad person. But these are not helpful traits to have. They're not ideal. And I keep telling myself that I'm going to work on them. And it's kind of coming to a point where I'm just out of excuses to not improve who I am as a person. I keep putting off things that I want to do, and that's no way to live my life. This isn't entirely about school, but realizing the reasons why I don't like school. I just genuinely do not like school, for starters. But realizing that I have these flaws, like a lot of that was because of school. A lot of these things make school difficult in particular, and they also just make life difficult in general. And I don't want to be that way. So here I am with a lot of problems that keep me from being a well-functioning adult, and also having no idea what I want to do with my life. So I'm kind of going through what I consider to be like a personal reset for me. It's not starting over, because college loan debt won't let me start over. But it's just kind of like, I want to pick myself up off the ground, learn more about myself, what I really care about in life, and just become a better person. Not just in how I live my life, but also in how I treat others. And I do have a lot of things that I plan on doing to help me become a better person, a well-functioning adult. I absolutely need to get organized. My bedroom has been messy since before I was born. And now that I have an apartment and I bear more responsibility for keeping my living space clean, I don't have any excuses for not being organized and tidy. So that's probably going to be like the first thing I try to do, is pick up good organizational habits. And I'm already working on that. Like, I'm not just leaving stuff laying around when I'm done with it. I've started exercising that both at home and at work, but I still have a long way to go. Another thing that I want to work on is my physical fitness, which I'll talk like more in depth about later. I've put on a lot of weight since high school. I used to be an athlete in high school, which might explain why I don't look as heavy as I actually am, but I still want to be healthier, and I feel like, improving my diet and exercising more, weight loss is going to accompany that. And also, I just want to feel confident in my body. I also want to get better with money. Like I said, I have a lot of student loan debt that I need to pay off, and I really can't even think about trying to do anything else with money until I get that paid off. And I just want to improve my spending habits in general, because it's so weird, when I was still thinking that I was going to go back to school, it always felt like, I was just waiting for that thing to come along and I could get my life back on track. And yet my spending habits are absolutely atrocious. I'm kind of an impulse buyer. It's not so bad to the point where I see something that kind of sort of piques my interest a little bit and I have to have it, but I do have some pretty bad money spending habits that I just want to do away with. And I have kind of started putting that into practice because, well, I can't pay off my student loans if I'm constantly spending money on things I don't need. And also, it's like, I have an apartment right now, but I'm not going to stay here forever. And the last thing I need to do is buy more junk that I will need to cram into cardboard boxes and take with me to the next place that I live in, which will be a one-bedroom apartment or a studio. I'm not living with another person. I'm done living with people. I don't care if I have to live in the cheapest excuse of a living situation. I just want to live by myself. Well, and also have this thing with me. Hey, sweetheart. And lastly, I am still a very creative person. Art school kind of killed my desire to work on artwork, but I still love drawing. I love writing. Like I said, I'm very bad at being motivated. I'm bad at motivating myself. And I just want to get back into doing the things that I love. I love writing. I love drawing. I love sewing. I love making things in general. And I want to get back into doing that. Not for any particular reason other than the fact that it makes me happy. It makes me happy to create things, and I want to keep doing that regardless of whether or not it's gonna earn me anything. I want to be a better friend to my friends. I want to make more friends because you can never have too many friends. And I kind of want to get back into dating. Well, actually, I want to try dating. I've been single for so long, and I should probably get back out there if, I want to have a family, which I've always wanted. I've always wanted to get married and have a family. But more than anything, right now, I want to be comfortable and financially secure. And that's not a bad thing. If the thing that you want most right now is to feel financially secure, that is valid. So, working on my habits, working on my bad habits, my bad traits, getting back into the things that I love doing, learning how to enjoy life and the people in my life, that's what's most important to me right now. I'm done waiting for things to happen for me, and I'm gonna actually go after it. I'm gonna work towards the things that I want. And I'm probably gonna screw up because, I'm in my 20s. All people in their 20s screw up at some point. I've screwed up a lot, and I will screw up a lot more. But working on improving myself as a person will help me down the road should I screw up, because I'll have the tools to pick myself up and get back on my feet. And I don't expect it to be easy, because nothing else that I've done so far has been too awfully easy. But I'm looking forward to continuing to work on myself as a person and become the best version of me that I can. My life up to this point has been defined by reaching goals while only having a vague idea of what I need to work on. I think I'm ready to have pretty vague goals, pretty vague ideas of where I want to end up, but having tangible, measurable ways of working to get myself to a better place in general. Not quite sure what's going to happen for me, but I'm excited to find out.